What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode 97 of the Charge to the Top here with Hereford FC. And today is a special episode, as it's an episode that could see us sail our top four fate in the Premier League for this season, which would just be a monumental achievement, really. I feel like we've invested into youth. That youth has come good for us. Lots of players have developed in the first team. I feel like we've bought wisely, really, over the last 2 or 3 seasons. And, well, to find ourselves in 4th now is a great achievement, and it could be sealed with an away win here against Newcastle. Now, with this episode, there are 3 games remaining of the season. I am going to continue to play until we qualify for the Champions League. I'm hoping, you know, 1 match, we get it done, nice and easy, no dramas, and I can relax. Of course, we could still bottle it. It is actually worth noting that at this moment in time, Chelsea actually played a game ahead of us. I didn't even realise this since I was just looking at the table now. So they can no longer leapfrog us this season. So it's all about Liverpool. Can Liverpool, well, bounce back, I guess, after the win we had against them? You can see we beat them 1-0. They've got West Brom today, who you'd expect them to beat. They still got Man City next weekend. For us, on the other hand, our games are fairly easy. Newcastle, Brighton, Palace. Well, we just need 1 win in the last 3 games, and that's assuming Liverpool win all their games. So it should be sealed. It should be done. Of course, last episode was the game against Liverpool, which if you missed, you should go check it out. Since then, not a whole lot changed, really. I'm going to make a few little tactical changes here. You can see Lustau struggling a little bit for fitness, one of our star men, so I'm going to give him a break. I'm also going to jig around the team just a little bit. I'm going to give Fred Harris the start today, the South African, a player who has really developed and come on leaps and bounds this season. And, well, hopefully he can put in a good performance for us in that striker role. Elsewhere, I think we're going to go with a standard back 4. You'll notice Diatta is still not in the first team. I'm going to give August, I think, the nod there. And the reason I'm going to give him the nod is because he did get that crucial assist in our previous game against Liverpool. And, well, I'm hoping he can do another good performance for us today. Anyway, the rest of our team, it's going to be Alexandro Morales, right back of O'Neill. Jaziri's going to hold on to his position in goal. In the centre of the midfield, we are going to go with Akasu. Ahead of him, Lustau struggling a little bit with fitness, so I've decided to bring in Pintado today to play the box-to-box midfielder role, which is a role he can play, perhaps not the greatest player from a technical standpoint for this role, but his mentals and physicals kind of make up for that, I think. Centre attacking mid, we're going to go with Juan Carlos Acuna. Out on the right, it's going to be Torres. Out on the left, we're going to go with Kasongo, and as I already mentioned, Fred Harris down the middle. On the bench, loads of options: Cameron Bowman, Lustau, Diatta, Chan, Silla. Yeah, we have options if we do want to change things up. But this is the team that I am going to entrust today to get us the result that we need. A win here, and top 4 is ours. And while we are the favourites going into this game, in terms of the Newcastle side, a few players you might recognise, like the likes of Mbemba, who has kind of just spent, I assume, his whole career. Yeah, you can see he's been at Newcastle a very, very long time now. Other players still in this Newcastle side, well, you've got Marcus Rashford, Leon Bailey, the South African, Jamaican, also playing. Of course, I've got Fred Harris on my mind still. Ryan Gould playing kind of a centre mid role, a little bit interesting. Of course, a player more so associated, I feel like, with being an attacking midfielder, but over the course of his career here in Football Manager, he's kind of dropped back into this centre mid role. He's been playing okay this year, but really, we should be beating this Newcastle side. They are a team lingering in mid-table mediocrity, and we are a team who are hot in form. We have players performing well, and I feel like now it's just about, you know, doing it in style. I want to annihilate Newcastle if we can, of course. I just want to get the win, really. A top 4 finish, it'll be interesting to see what our budgets are set at if we do get that top 4 finish, which we are just 1 game away from. I'd like to think we'll have loads of money to reinvest. Whether or not that's the case is a completely different question, of course. Squad depth, I don't feel like it's something we have to worry about. And, well, something we might have to worry about is the fact it's 1-0 here to Newcastle. Marcus Rashford with a header from a corner. And, well, I was going to go on a tangent saying about how I don't feel like our squad is too bad when it comes to being prepared to play in Europe because of the side of it, or the size of it, although we have got a lack of homegrown players. What is a little bit of a concern, however, is the fact we're not winning this game. Rashford, not the player you'd back to win the ball in the air, really, but he does give Newcastle the early lead here. As Ryan Gould with the ball whipped in to that near post, and, well, Rashford, he does actually win a header. Not a player known for his ability in the air, right? Part of me wondered if he'd volleyed it in. He hasn't. He's found the back of the net. And, well, questions got to be asked of our defending there, and, well, it's going to be a little bit of a test of character now, isn't it? How can we deal with this situation? Andy O'Neill on a booking is a little bit concerning at right back. He's not got the best discipline. To be on a yellow card after 10 minutes does leave me feeling a little uneasy. But, well, Kasongo, what a run this is. Can't pull it back across, unfortunately. Although he might get a second bite of the cherry here. Newcastle dilly-dallying around with the ball at the back. They do, however, hold on to the ball. It's going to be Wild Smiths now with the ball with him in the along the back. Clears it up to Liam Bailey. Headed back into the mess. Now it's with Bailey once more. He tries to switch it. Sinot trying to perhaps beat his man. Whips it in. Morelos deals with it, but, well, Newcastle retaining possession, keeping us on the back foot here. Rashford turns his man, hits it Shaziri. Lovely stop by the Tunisian between the sticks. Keeps that out, tips it wide. We live to fight another day, but, well, you'd have to say Newcastle, bit of a surprise package early on in this game. They are testing us here right now, and, well, the ball is going to go out into touch. I was worried that we were about to see a penalty given to Newcastle when they had the ball in our box there, but largely composed defending there, and well, maybe we can make something happen here as O'Neill whips it in, edge of the box, Pintado, Kasongo, options on the overlap, turns his man himself, can he pull it across? He doesn't, it's a deflected shot that finds its way into the keeper's hands. I don't know if that was the highlight though, I feel like there's more to come here. Alexandro heads it forward. Awase now, big ball over the top, and Rashford, he has pace and he is through here. Can he score this time? Shaziri, lovely stop, another stop, and somehow it goes out. Fantastic goalkeeping by a man who, well, he joined us in January, back on loan, having had a long loan spell in Colombia where he had excelled as a goalkeeper. Had a little run in the first team where he didn't impress me. I've brought him back into the side over the last few games. And, well, what a set of fantastic stops by him there. That is kind of game-changing, potentially, saves to keep the goal margin to just the one. And, well, the ball cleared up now with Edwards. Now with Ryan Gould, who has one assist to his name. Trying to pick out Rashford once more. Now with Fred Harris, maybe to make something happen. I can't help but feel like this is the end of a highlight that's fizzling out. And, well, indeed it is. I need to have a team talk here. I need to tell the players I'm not happy because this is just, it's not good enough. Show some passion, boys. What is happening to us today? I don't even feel like your Newcastle system particularly, works well against us. They're playing a 4-2-3-1 like ourselves, other than the fact they don't have a defensive midfielder. I feel like it's just a case of no one really performing yet. Hopefully, with that touchline team talk ringing in their ears, we're going to see a change in performance here as Harris thread through Torres, and, well, that is the kind of change we want. Mark Torres, it's been a while coming, this 15th goal of the season for him. He's been stuck on 14 for what feels like an eternity. It's certainly a few months. But, well, that finish was a finish with confidence. Harris playing the ball through, on the volley, bang! Pick that out. Lovely strike by him. Fantastic finish. No chance for the keeper there. And now we have a set piece. Kasongo whips it in. It's headed away. As far as Liam Bailey is now going to try and maybe set off a counter-attack here. Straight to O'Neill, though, along the back, who spreads it out to Torres, the goal scorer, and nods it inside to Harris, and, well, that's how you turn around a game. Fred Harris gets a goal. Lovely finish by him. 6th goal of the season for him, of course. Still a very young player, the South African. I want to get him more involved in the first team. And, well, lovely finish there. I think this was on the half volley. It was indeed. Lovely finish. And, well, Torres was set up by Harris previously. Harris now set up by Torres. They've redeemed, well, one another. They've set up each other in the space of what was just under 2 minutes, which is superb. But, well, we still need to keep our heads on in this game because despite that great finish, Newcastle have created chances, and, well, they are on the attack again here. And, well, O'Neill has just done something very questionable. He's headed it into his own net. He's had an absolute nightmare there, the right back. He's already on a booking. I might have to sub him off. And Bamboo with the ball into the box, and, well, I don't understand what he's tried to do there. He has got pressure on kind of from the man behind him, but he should be dealing with it significantly better than he has done there. Of course, it is worth knowing, even if we fail to win today, if Liverpool fail to win, we would still get top 4. And they're winning 2-0. So we do actually need to win today's game. Otherwise, we will be going to the next fixture where we might need to, do better than we have done today. If we somehow bottle this now, I will actually cry, just as a point of seriousness. Ball going forward, Tass with a foul. I mean, don't book him as well. If both our fullbacks are on bookings, this is not going to be good for us. It didn't look like a great tackle by the fullback. Okay, I'm going to make a decision here, and that decision is I am subbing off both my fullbacks at, well, the 46th minute. I cannot risk having players sent off, so I'm going to take off Tass for Diatta. I'm going to bring in Kovacic for Andy O'Neill, who, well, the Romanians are good little right-backs. I'm not too concerned about those changes, but I just feel like O'Neill scored an own goal. He's not had the greatest of games. Tass is struggling as well with his performance. Let's get on 2 fresh legs in the full-back position. Liam Bailey causing us some problems down the left. That Newcastle are playing this wider system, so getting some fresh legs in the full-back area might help to just counter them a little bit. But, well, 25 minutes left in this game. 2-2, not good enough, of course. Ball whipped in, headed clear Torres clears it, but only as far as Leon Bailey, who, well, we've identified as a danger man. And while the ball worked down the middle here, Harris, lovely tackle. Now can we look to counter? Kasongo, not a whole lot of options on ahead of him. He tries an ambitious ball, which is intercepted, but, well, possession recycled once more by us. But Newcastle once more winning this battle in the midfield. And it's Leon Bailey cutting inside. He skied it. He should have scored it. Definitely should have scored it. Newcastle have had chances in this game to do a lot better than they have done. And I feel like we need to change our system just a little bit. I want to tell the fullbacks to defend a little bit more. We're going to go to a more conventional, I think, kind of 4-2-3-1. See how that kind of suits us, perhaps. I feel like this might help us just a little bit. The fullback's kind of been cut out of position on the support duty. But, well, Leon Bailey bringing the ball forward here. Whips it in. Jaziri holds on to it this time. Now can we try and launch something from behind? You know, changing to this slightly more conventional system, I'm hoping that's going to help us to deal with the fullbacks who are causing us problems. I'm also going to get rid of look for overlap. But, well, Diatta, nice tackle there. But unfortunately, we just give it away once more. We have had slightly more of the ball, but it feels like whenever we enter their half, we're giving it away. But, well, we might have a chance here. Kasongo, he squeezed it in. It's 3-2 here. The subs haven't even taken effect, but it doesn't matter. He's delighted with it. It's another great finish by him out on the left-hand side. Fred Harris once more involved. The young South African having a game to remember here. Lovely ball through Kasongo, using that pace of his to get to that ball. And he just squeezes it in an exquisite finish tucked into that bottom corner. And, well, when you look at the stats and the fact that we've not had a clear-cut chance, you might be worried for us. But the half chances that have come our way, our strikers have finished very, very well indeed. And, well, now it's a little bit about keeping our head on here as on Newcastle. They're on the attack. Torres dispossesses him. Harris with the ball. Acuna threads it forward to him once more. Kasongo may be going to look for a similar run to the one he had previously. Harris, I mean, it's an ambitious long shot from about 40 yards out, but I appreciate the thought. 20 minutes left in this game. Acuna's not the greatest game at centre attacking mid, so we're going to take him off. I'm going to bring in Lou Stau for him. We'll see how the Argentine gets on for us, old Louis boy. Can he make something happen? Of course, the club big earner, I've rested him from this game just because his condition isn't great. Maybe he can come on and have an impact on what he might have to if Newcastle score here, because the ball is just pinging around in our box from this corner. In the end, it gets blazed wide, but that was another great opportunity for Newcastle. They have squandered it once more, and, well, you'd have to say we've not been at our best today, but really, Newcastle just wasting so many opportunities. I don't want to speak too soon. There's still more time for them to create more chances, but, well, we're on the attack here. One more goal would seal us a top 4 finish, and Pintado, what a finish that is. He tucks it away from range. Superb. 4-2. I think that's gone along the ground. I think he's just hit that hard and low. And, well, you can see it, the build-up play nice. Harris threads it through to him. It's a hat-trick of assists to Fred Harris. And, well, a lovely finish tucked into that bottom right corner. The same corner that we scored through Kasongo. 4-2 here. And that is going to seal a top 4 finish for the season for us. Not the most convincing of performances, but we've made it work. We've had a few late goals this year. We've saved a few points from absolutely nothing, and in the end those have been the difference makers for us between what could have been maybe a top 5 finish and the finish that we're going to have here, where we have now secured a Champions League spot for next year. And now we sit in anticipation. How much money do the board want to give us? How much are they going to bestow upon us for a Champions League run? We qualify for the Champions League. That is an achievement and a half in our 3rd season. Board set the initial budget, transfer budget of £34 million, wage budget 1.6 million. How much are we spending on wages at the moment? 1.4 million. So there's a little bit of wiggle room. Not perhaps as much money as I'd like there to be. But I do feel like obviously we can make some sales, maybe do some smart transfer business. We have got a big, somewhat bloated squad. I feel like moving around some players maybe to free up some funds isn't out of the realms of possibility. But well played, Fred Harris. Cometh the man, cometh the hour. The 20-year-old, a top draw performance there to make something happen for us. And you'd have to say, on reflection this season, we probably deserve it. We've had some great results across the season. And, well, that win against Liverpool was a great result. This result against Newcastle, a really well-deserved result. You look at draws against the likes of Chelsea. You look at that 1-0 win against Manchester United. We've earned our spot here. It doesn't look like we're going to be moving much in the league, because unfortunately for us, United are 5 points ahead of us. And they have an extra game in hand as well, with only 2 games remaining. So I feel like 4th is all we can really do here. But, well, when you look at our season as a whole, it's been a season that took a little while to get going, which is a little bit unconventional for us, because normally we've been a team who starts strongly and then we kind of just bottle it throughout. But when you look at our past positions, you know, we started off pretty poorly, really, although there were a few new players coming into the fray, and we've kind of slowly worked our way up ever since, really. I don't know, maybe game week 13, we've been in and amongst the top 4. And really, when you consider the fact we've been in the top 4 for the entire latter half of the season, I kind of feel like we've earned our spot here in the Champions League, which is a great achievement. I mean, when you compare our squad to kind of teams around us, we're above average Premier League side now. You know, we're not the greatest side by any means. But when you compare our team as a whole, maybe mentally we're not the greatest, not technically, but our physicals are some of the best in the league. We work hard, we have a fast team. And you'd have to say the new systems work really, really nicely this year. You know, an asymmetric formation, something that I've not really used that much this year. I definitely think there's room to improve this in a few areas. I feel like the attacking midfielder can maybe contribute a little bit more. But what we've got an entire off-season now to kind of think things over, mull them over, make some changes, hopefully bring in some quality players. And, well, we're going to have a good little campaign next year. Just a few other little bits of news. I can't remember if I talked about these or not. I'm pretty sure I mentioned the stadium expansion, but if I didn't, we've got a stadium expansion of just over 1,000 seats. That's going to be happening for, well, it's not going to be for a little while, actually. But it's in the planning stages at the moment. We have our training facilities, which are being improved, as are our youth facilities. They are going to be done in 5 months' time in October. So that's some good news there. Our facilities, obviously, for a Champions League side, they're nowhere near good enough, really. We have good training facilities and great youth facilities, but I want to bump those up to the next level and really, you know, cement ourselves now as a regular top 4 team. I feel like next season's going to be a big challenge for us because we've not had European football prior to this season. We're going straight in at the deep end with Champions League kind of football to be played. It's going to be tricky. We're going to have to find a balance. And, well, I'm looking forward to next season now. But anyway, guys, I will join you guys next episode. It will be an end-of-season review. I want to, you know, talk about my plans for the squad, think a little bit more about players I might want to sell on, how I want to try and build, I guess, a sustainable team. When you look across our squad as a whole, you'd have to say, just kind of looking at the youth in the squad, I don't see why we shouldn't be expecting to finish top 4 next year with the right kind of few additions to the side. We have a terrific young side with a lot of young players actually in the first team, as you can see here, like starting regularly. And I really can't wait to see what the future holds for this Hereford side. But anyway, guys, if you have enjoyed today's episode, as always, please do leave a like on the video. If you've got any comments, leave them down below. And other than that, thank you so much for watching as always. It is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.